Today we have with us Dr. Narendra Kumar Nanda with 37 years of experience in the field of mining. Dr. N. K. Nanda was the Director Technical of the single largest iron ore producer of the country. He specializes in project planning, execution, and development, and has special interest in diversification, value addition, and integration activities. He has received number of laurels, and by Government of India, he was given the Outstanding Contribution to Mining Industry. He received Eminent Engineer Award by the Institution of Engineers, Mining Engineer of the Year for 2010 and 11 by the Mining Engineers Association. So today, we are really honored to have Dr. Nanda with us. Welcome you, sir, to the live section of Steel Scenario.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I have been associated with Steel Scenario for many years when I was in NMDC as director and going through the construction of our maiden steel plant at Jagadpur.
So you are like part of this mining sector for years. So this mining has played a very strategic and robust role in shaping India's development. Do you agree to this?
Yeah, I think anyone will agree to this because in any of the countries, the mineral plays a vital role in the economic growth. It is not only in India, in all developed countries which we are seeing now, they have developed their mineral sector very well. And India is also not lagging behind. Mining sector is critical for economic growth of in India. Mining and quarrying is a section and metal is another section. Both jointly, they do a lot of immense contribution to the GDP. I should say that the mineral sector is a sector which contributes to the gross value added to of the country. And in 1819, if you see, it has added about only mining and quarrying, if you say, it has added about 1.2%, 2.1%, and the metal and mining sector has added about 4%. So that shows it has a immense effect on the economic growth. It is not only that, because it has a, it is the area, it is the sector which also influences the sector like infrastructure, construction, and also it influences the major area like power, then cement, steel, because all these economic activities, they need mineral. So therefore, I must say that a robust mineral sector is the plinth or is the strength of the country. Is very critical for the growth of the country, growth of any country, not only in India. And India is basically a mineral rich country. And if you see that India is having about 95 types of minerals, and out of that 4 are fuel and 3 are atomic and 10 are metallic and 23 are non-metallic and 55 are minor minerals. So all these minerals contribute a lot to the GDP of the country. And when you go back to 1819, we can see that it has contributed about 1,24,000 crore the production value, and it is about 50% for both metallic, major and minor minerals. That I was also going to add that the mineral sector also also influence the economic growth of the backward and rural areas of the country. Okay. Because most of the mines are situated in backward area, and when the mine is developed, the whole area gets developed. And because of today's the district mineral fund and also the CSR activities of the companies who are in the mining sector, the whole area gets developed. Otherwise, it is very difficult for those areas to be only developed by the government.
So you were talking that with mining, the backward regions get developed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then why, sir, 88 mining lease has been cancelled by the Supreme Court in Goa, where more than 3 lakhs people who were dependent on mining, they have lost their job. Do you think some kind of a decision is taken to bail out this situation that has been created, or is there any way which we can think of where this 3 lakh people or more can get back their jobs?
Exactly, I would not say that Goa is a backward area, but still I agree with you, your point of view that 3 lakh people and 88 mining leases is affected in Goa. But this issue is a major complicated issue in front of everyone now in the mining sector. If I go back little into the history, when these mining concessions were with the owners and they were of the Portuguese rule, and that was allotted to them during that time. And when 1961 the Goa annexed with India, at that time these concessions were made part of India in 1963 by enactment of rules and acts. But again, there was a setback, and finally in 1987, there was an amendment in the concession and NMDC Act, and so that is called Abolition Act. So through that act, all these concessions were made part of mining leases. So from that it was continuing, and after some time, after the Shah Commission and all that, the mines were stopped. Sometime then again started, but finally, as you are saying that in March 2018, it was completely stopped, and from that date it is not operating. And about so many trucks, infrastructure, and equipment, they are lying idle. So the issue is now what are the legal options before us to start all these mines. The scenario is like this, then even if the mines, this is my point of view, the mines also leases are awarded. The basic market of Goa sector is now is a country where we may not be able to export. So the issue has to be holistically thought of. It is not that even if you extend the lease or allow the leases to operate, whether it will be immediately the economic growth will start. I have a doubt.
Right. And what steps do you think the government is taking to develop the skill for the mining workers? Because we are in a situation, sir, where a lot of workers, because of the pandemic, they have come back home. So there is a vacuum that has been created. So the number of workers available has decreased. On the other hand, what kind of initiatives the government has taken to enhance the skill of the mining workers?
In fact, as I was telling earlier, these mines are basically in an area of backward areas of the country. The available manpower are in two categories. One are the technician categories who will operate the equipment, who will work in the mine, and another category who will be the executive category who will plan and execute the work.
Right.
The other category we may pan India we can get them, but the other category which are basically from the area around the mine, they are not very skilled, and it is the absolutely necessary for the mine owners to skill them. And there are rules, there are facilities available near the mine for their training. However, those as is needed to be upgraded because of the changed scenario and highly mechanization things coming into mine. And I must say the government is also doing many things for skill development of the manpower throughout India through its skill development ministry. And that ministry, where there is one Director General of Training who looks after this skill development activities, and that can be categorized in different sectors, like one craftsman training, CTS we call it, then apprentice training, ATS we call it, then we flexi MOUs with industry, and then finally PM KVY, that is Pradhan Mantri or Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana. In that, I will little elaborate that PM KVY, where there is a provision of skill councils. And in these skill councils, in different sectors, there are many skill councils. And mining sector also, there is a skill council. The role of the skill council is to go to the mine area and villages where there are people who are having some knowledge, having some vocational training earlier. Their skill has to be recognized. They call it recognition of prior learning, RPL. So that gives a lot of momentum to the people around, and they can be satisfied that this man is not knowing this subject, he is good at this work, so he can be immediately accepted in mine activity. But your point is that now when there is a lot of disruption due to this pandemic, and a lot of people have shifted from one place to another, and those who are coming to a new place, how they will be accommodated in that area. So
right.
This skill council may have a role, and also I understand that there will be redistribution of these laborers. Suppose some laborer are coming from Odisha to long distance Surat or Gujarat, they may not go long distance, they may come to Andhra Pradesh or Telangana. So there will be, I understand, there will be redistribution. Because they again think that we may go back. And many also are now ready to come to their own place of work. And I heard that a lot of people have come back also. And many areas the work has started gradually. It is picking up. So I think it will be under control in course of time.
Sir, in this line only, I would like to ask you one thing. Can you give us an idea what percentage of, say, engineers, mining engineers, students are studying mining engineering, and how many of them are retaining their jobs in mining industry? Is it a good number, or the number of mining engineers have come down with years?
Exactly, if you ask me, there are mining engineering studies is being studied at different universities,
Right.
and many are not having the mining branch also. Like after Indian School of Mines, which was established by long back in 1926 for the development of mining engineers, and then IIT Kharagpur, BHUIT, Jodhpur Mining Department, and there are others also. About 300 to 400 mining engineers are coming out every year. And when they get into the mining, the mining they join as an executive trainee or management trainee, and they spend some years there. During that time, about 15-20% they go back. They don't stay.
Okay.
There will be attrition of about 15 to 20%. And they will go back to in search of other branches. Some go to IT, some go to UPSC examinations, all this. But majority of them stay back. And this trend was, as I was telling, this trend was earlier, but presently the trend has little also improved. I think this percentage figure has improved. That means that decreased. I think now it may be 10% or 12% maybe the attrition, not much.
Okay. And now if we come back to the iron ore market, Indian market, with this pandemic taking the country to a lockdown for more than 2 months or so, a lot of the sectors have been immensely affected. How do you think this has impacted the Indian iron ore market and also the global mining sector?
If I say the production has come down in almost everywhere because of the disruption due to people are not at site and all. But in general, there is a little balance also there. And I think the future is very unpredictable from my point of view, because unless this pandemic is contained in a total way, the full production level will not be achieved. That is my take.
So is it impacting the price? Like we were expecting that from April, the domestic iron ore price will increase. So what will be the trend of the price in next few months or the coming financial year?
Actually, price has not gone up because of this situation which is prevailing now. And the expectation that the price will improve in April has not come true.
Okay.
And in May also the price has been reduced. But my gut feeling is that in the second half of the year, like after September, maybe there will be a little correction in the price in higher side. And it is because the iron ore which is available in Indian market, which has been allowed to be sold after the auction, that will come to an end in, I understand, in September, the time is given. So people are now selling iron ore so that they can sell whatever they have produced. But after September, I think there will be a correction in the higher side.
So the price is expected to rise further.
In the second half of this year, H2, I think there will be a correction in higher side.
Okay. And another thing that just crossed my mind, in mining sector, how well are we technologically developed? Is there Indian technology that is being used in the mining sector, or we are using foreign technology? If it is technologies from the foreign countries, which other countries? Does China plays an important role in giving us any kind of technology? What is the situation on the technological usage in the mining sector?
Indian mining sector has adopted mechanization for long back, and many of the mines have been mechanized in various ways. Though there are mines which are still semi-mechanized, but the major mines which are doing large production, they have been mechanized. But this mechanization can be in two different ways. Technology upgradation and mechanization are two things. We can increase our size of the equipment which we are earlier using, like some 25 years before we are using smaller size of trucks and haulers or dumpers, you can say. But now we are using a larger size of dumpers. But the basic structure in the technology adoption, like shovel dumper combination, has not changed much. But in in other countries where they are going deeper and they're going laterally larger, they use much more technological, highly complicated equipments, which is not in India. But however, we are also not far behind. We are started using conveyors, single flight conveyors with horizontal and vertical curve, which also regenerating, and our mineral processing equipments are also very good. But one thing I must say, that the the production of equipment, that means here we are not having much facilities to produce equipment. So many of the equipments are being brought from outside, as you are asking, from some other countries like China and all. Though the China is also a supplier, but many of the mineral processing equipments are also available in other countries like South Africa and other Australia. Like drills are coming from Australia, and you can say mineral processing equipments are coming from South Africa. So we are not highly, in mining, we are not very highly dependent on Chinese equipment. So, but the digitalization part of operation in Indian mining is lacking behind. That needs to be corrected. And I understand the people have now started gearing up after this situation. They have learned how to be online every time. So this will improve. Like in a mine, technology plays a major role. And when Industry 4, as you are saying, Industry 4.0, we have now going through, and the mining sector has not yet correctly embraced it. And then because mining is itself is equipment intense activities, and a lot of data is being created every day. And if you see the operation in mine, operation in the mineral process, operation in the material handling plant, all these areas are creating a lot of information and data every minute. And those data are being collected, and it needs to be analyzed for improving the productivity of the system. And this is the right time to go full hug for the Industry 4.0, so that all the data which you are collecting can be analyzed through applying different operation technology, operation research models or simulation models, and through computer, and then we can get the information so that we can take corrective action beforehand, like predictive maintenance we can start doing, so that the machine does not stop and does not create a unplanned stoppages. So these things is needed, is to be now coming into the mining sector. This technology adoption is to be there.
So how do you feel this post-pandemic, the mining sector in India will change, and what do you expect the sector to perform in, say, next 5 years? How do you expect it to perform?
This sector is not going to be very highly affected. However, the pandemic has its own pressure on everyone. In next 5 years, I understand that the mining sector will grow because of the new mineral policies, and many things has now been streamlined by the government for ease of work. And there will be environmental clearances, new rules will help getting the projects implemented very soon. So next 5 years, I think, will be bright for mining industry, as I understand.
Okay, thank you.
I will add one thing.
Yeah.
The mineral sector, the trade deficit is much more, because though we are having a lot of minerals in different areas, we are not yet developed.
Right.
So the full potential is yet to be unlocked. So it is now you see some areas we are doing export, but many of the minerals we are importing, and the trade deficit is there. And many strategic minerals we are not yet self-sufficient. Though we are sufficient, if you as per the you can say the reports, we are self-sufficient in many minerals. Like you can bauxite, we are 100% self-sufficient, and in chromite we are 100% self-sufficient. In iron we are 99% self-sufficient, depending upon the requirement of the country. But many we are not, like manganese, we are only 56% self-sufficient. So there we have to work. So the main aim of the mining sector is to reduce the trade deficit, and import should be less, and so that more and more self-sufficient. We can, the self-reliant mining sector should be there, instead of importing strategic minerals and all. That is required.
So with the hope that very soon our mining sector is self-reliant, depend less on imports, okay, and export more, we are hopeful, and we are happy to hear that. Being an experienced person in the mining industry, you're also very hopeful about how the sector will grow in the coming years. Thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful talking to you, and I really feel enlightened about the mining sector after talking to you. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.